Okay, bitch. Let's talk about this. Um, this is basically the continuation book of The Devil Wears Prada. It's the book, not the movie. So we are going to compare the two because I did see The Devil Wears Prada 2, loved it. The book, Revenge Wears Prada, which is basically The Devil Wears Prada 2 book version, ooh, hated it. Glad they did not follow this storyline, and glad it's not even the skeleton of the movie. And there are some, maybe a handful of characters that they saved, but you're so lucky, for those of you that complained about the movie, that you didn't get this trash, because it is trash. First of all, in the movie, Andy continues to be a journalist, and she actually has accolades. She followed her dream. She did what she wanted. In the book, for some reason, she owns a magazine called The Plunge, and it is basically Runway, but the bridal version of Runway. Which, again, you would ask yourself as you're reading, why didn't they already do this to begin with? I mean, Vogue already has a bridal version, but they didn't, and Miranda didn't think of it. Also, Miranda in the book maybe shows up 4 or 5 times, and you're still supposed to hate her, which I don't understand how or why we hate Miranda. And I read somewhere someone said that the movie version of Miranda isn't a feminist icon. Bitch, do you not realize that this woman ran a billion-dollar company? Still did, even in all this form of media as media changed, and only up until now was trying to leave. That's a long time. I dare anyone to have that much control, not only over fashion, but the zeitgeist of a lot of things. And that's what you don't understand, that yes, she is a feminist icon. Whether or not you like what she did, she still did something. Because there's not many people, because of course we know who she's modeled after. There's not many people who could say that. Yes, they've done bad things, but imagine when you have that much power. When you have that much power, you're not going to be a nice person. You're still going to want to maintain that power. And basically, that's why they are the way they are. But in the book, so Andy now owns a magazine company. She owns it with her fiance, then husband, then divorces him, which is stupid for why. And then she owns it along with Emily. They're actually friends in the book, and I actually like that. And I wish they would. I like that they kind of touched on it a bit in the movie. The book made it make more sense. Lily was, oh my god, so Lily, I hated her in the book. I actually liked her in the movie. I hated Lily in the book because Lily, guess what she does? She up and leaves Miss Andy all by herself in New York while she goes to Colorado to pursue her dream as a yoga instructor, which is stupid because remember, we can't chase dreams when we're friends with Lily or when you're dating Nate. And guess what Nate does? Nate goes all the way to Louisiana to follow his dream to teach children. And then on top of it, I think he even goes out of the country to do it. But no, when Andy wants to chase her dreams, how dare she? But again, what's stupid is she doesn't chase her dreams in the book. She owns a magazine, which I never knew she wanted to do that because she hated everything. And for some reason, she still hates Miranda and she doesn't see how or why Miranda is the way she is. Because again, if you want to be big, there's stuff you have to give up. And you kind of have to just like, yeah, you have to devote yourself. And again, she's like, I'm not going to do that. Okay. But that doesn't mean that you're better than her. And it doesn't mean that you're going to be more successful. Because again, there's certain things that if you want certain rewards that you have to do in order to do that. I mean, at the end of the day, bitch, I want to be a writer, but guess what? I get lazy sometimes and I forget that I should spend 30 minutes to do that. And that means that I have to devote that instead of like cooking or something that I want to do. Again, people don't get that in order to get a reward, sometimes you have to give up something to get that reward. And in the book, Andy meets her fiance while she's trying to sell the idea for her magazine. He is basically kind of like a media mogul. His family had a lot of money, but they lost it because the father, who I think he unalived himself. I don't know, something happened to him. He either drank himself to, you know what? or he unalived himself. Either way, the man lost the money, and so that's why this son, who is a fiance to Andy, wants to like get a name for the family again. They're like the Hearst family again. You know what I mean? Like big old media company, all that stuff. Um, so then they're like, they had to sell their homes and do that. But his mother does not like Andy and writes him a letter. This is all like at the beginning of the first chapter or so. And she's like, I don't think you should marry her because she's not like us. And Andy reads this and she gets upset that her fiance didn't tell her about this letter. Mind you, would you tell your wife that you're about to marry that your mother, who's going to be her mother-in-law, said this and stressed her out? Did you ever think maybe that's why he didn't tell you? And then on top of it, he ran into his ex, but he didn't tell her. So she's like, oh my God, I'm so sad. Why didn't you tell me? Mind you, after that, guess how many times she runs into Nate and doesn't tell him and still has feelings for him, which I don't get because this guy did not like you or care about you and he didn't care about your future. And the reason I'm really upset is because of ending. And you're gonna understand why I'm upset, but we're not there yet. So, Andy, she does remember the character that's played by Lucy Liu. That character actually is in the book, but she's very different. She actually is the one with all the money. She marries a poor guy. They end up breaking up their wedding day, and then because Andy goes for the bridal party or the bachelorette party, and she's pregnant, mind you, with the guy's child that she had just married. And so then Emily has to go and write up the wedding. And at the wedding, that character breaks up with her husband. Eventually, they do get married, but yes. So Andy's pregnant, mind you, from this guy who she's keeping the secret that she's seen Nate on the side sometimes. And she wants to divorce him because she's like, oh, I don't think he fully loves me. Girl, this man has money and he turned your magazine into reality and you want to dump him for the dumbest reasons. And then on top of that, bitch, so then at one point, Miranda and Condé Nast, they hear about, oh my God, there's this great magazine that's a bridal version of Runway. We should acquire it. And guess what Miss Andy says? She's like, no, I don't want to sell to them because I'm sad. Because at the end of the day, she's just going to ruin my life like she did before. How did she fucking ruin your life when you have a multi-million-dollar magazine that's wanting to be acquired by them? Again, she set you up. If you would have, like, you wouldn't have the connections if you wouldn't have had the job. And that's where, again, it doesn't make sense why she hates her so much. It's like, without this girl, you would not have what you have. So calm the hell down. Yeah, she's not a great person. Yeah, she like is bossy. But guess what? You need to be like that. And again, even it's funny because even the movie, it kind of touches on that. But the movie is so different in that the whole process is about Condé Nast trying to acquire this magazine and Miss Andy not wanting that to happen. Emily wanting it to happen. Emily's husband wanting it to happen. He's basically the host on some shows and he's kind of creepy in the book. And Emily and her are friends because they like met at a cooking class where they just hit it off all over again. Long story short, because Andy's husband has the money trouble that he does and he wants to make his family name something again, he actually goes behind Andy's back with Emily and they sell the company to Condé Nast. Andy breaks up with him, is upset. Andy is in this mommy group that Nate's girlfriend's a part of. The girlfriend's cheating on Nate. She finds out, doesn't tell Nate. The very last page of the book, she ends up with fucking Nate. Why? After she divorced the husband, which makes no fucking sense. Why did you divorce him? He made you a millionaire. And you're mad at that. You're stupid. And so then it was very much giving like the author wanted it to be like Sex in the City. And it's like, oh, let's have it be like Big and Carrie ending up together. No, first of all, that toxic relationship made a little bit of sense. This toxic relationship does not. We did not need to have another Carrie and Big moment. We needed something better. And even though, yes, the love story in Devil Wears Part 2 wasn't great, but how about this? Maybe a woman doesn't need to have a man to make her story full and complete. And that's what the story was about. But yes, Devil Wears Part 2, amazing, funny, watch it. Revenge vs. Prada, do not waste your time. Do not read it at all. I'm just saying, yeah.